Hello crafters and welcome back to our tutorial. This is the finished page that we are working on a previous video. Um, just wanted to let you know that I didn't use extra those craft sticks that we're using for this side. Um, so exactly what we used in the video is exactly what's here. So like we see, I didn't have enough pictures for this, but of course, whatever album you are working for, you have room for a lot more pictures on the page as well as here. And let me show you the finalized part, which is this, like this. We can have more room for pictures here. I didn't want to add any photo mats just in case the mother doesn't have any more pictures to add, but she can do some journaling if she wants to. Um, so it's all up to her. So this is how it looks like. Let me bring it down so you can see it here. That's one side, and this is the other side. And as you can see, I mat it, and for you to, just in case you have trouble when you have to mat weird shapes like these sides here. Okay, what I did, I measured this entire rectangle because, let me bring it more in the picture. Let's turn it like this. Okay, because this you originally would have been a rectangle, correct? So I measured the longer size, the straight sides. So this was, I can't remember what it was now. Let me do it on the other side. So this was 4 by 1.5 inches. So then I cut a piece of paper at 3 3/4 by 1.25 inches, and then I measured the distance here, okay, and if I'm not mistaken, that's 3/4 inch, and I am correct. So therefore, I'm going to need this part to be 1/2 inch. So what I did, I marked from the end 1.25 inches, and then 1/2 inch from here, and then I removed this piece here, and this is will sit perfectly here to mat our project. Hope that makes sense. As you can see, I used this closure ribbon. I thought I didn't use any ribbon in this project, so I might as well take advantages of this. And for the next page, I created this layout. We are going to work on this right now. However, I would advise you to watch the video first because I did some mistakes when I worked on this one. Like I said, I'm working out of my mind, out of my head, so to speak, and mistakes can occur, but of course, I try to readjust the measurements so that when you work on it, it's going to be fine. And the other thing here is that you can do this, so you can view more pictures. So this goes like this. So in order to do that, you're going to have to, let's put this on the side. You will need to get to create another base page, of course. My desk is an absolute mess. So once again, like we did at the beginning of our tutorial, I took another one of the base pages and I added this flap. So with the flap closed, we are going to work on this side. Let's put this on the side for the time being. And this video might be divided into videos, only because I have a feeling it's going to be a long video and it's going to take, it might be difficult to upload. So once again, please watch the video first because these measurements may not correctly apply, so you may need to do adjustments. I would like you to take a piece of cardstock and cut it to 6 3/8 by 11 1/4. So 6 3/8 by 11 1/4. Then take your cardstock and on the 6 3/8 sides, score on both sides. Okay, and then on the 11 1/4 side, score on one side only. And then of course apply your tape. Then two pieces of cardstock at 6 3/8 by 5 7/8. On the 6 3/8 side, score on both sides, and then on what was the other measurement? On the 5 7/8 sides, only on one side for both of them. And then two pieces of cardstock. One measures 10.5 by 5 1/4, and the other one measures 10 1/8 by 5 1/8. So right now we are going to work on the on the bigger piece. So let's put everything else on the side. Oh, and sorry, some transparency. The bigger piece measures 4 3/4 by 10 1/8. So this is 4 3/4 by 10 1/8. And then two pieces that both measures 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. So let's put this on the side as well. Oops. So for the time being, let's keep on our table the one piece that is 6 3/8 by 11 1/4 and the two pieces that are 6 3/8 by 5 7/8. These will be pockets, and what we're going to need is to miter here, okay, on all pieces. Now the thing is, if you don't miter correctly, when you bend your pieces they will either overlap or it's going to create a space that is going to be visible on the front. So we'll need to do quick measurements in order for us to be able to miter correctly. In many cases, the way you miter is not really important, but here it is, because if you don't miter correctly, it's going to add to the bulk, and you're not going to be able to do the sliding thing. So what I'm going to do, so with my tape facing down, and make sure that on the part where is scored on the 11 1/4, put your piece on your table and make a mark from the end of the cardstock at 1 inch. Same here, turn it around, so make a mark at 1 inch. Same at the other end, make a mark at 1 inch and a mark at 1 inch. So we made marks. So from the side of the paper, we're gonna have 1 inch here, 1 inch here, same here, 1 inch here and 1 inch here. Okay, let's do the same on the other two pockets. 1 inch. If you are really good at mitering, you don't have to do this, but I'm not. Okay, next thing we are going to do is to, and where's my tools for that? Oh, this place is such a mess. It's unbelievable. I can't find my frame punch. Ah, here it is. I'm going to check my frame punch. And if you don't have one of these tools, I recommend you to get one. They are so helpful for frames. But if you don't have one of them, what you will need to do is to create a um, with your pencil and using your ruler, mark at half an inch inside from the score lines, and of course at the top as well. But at this point I'm going to use this, and I have these both pieces at 1 inch, and right now I'm only going to punch on the sides where the two lines, two score lines intersect. I'm going to do that for all my pieces. Okay, that's one. Oops. So only punch the two corners on the sides where the two score lines intersect. And once again, the punch is set up at 1 inch. Now we need to punch here, but because here we don't have the extra flap, right? What we are going to need, to punch 1 inch from here, where is the flap, and half an inch from here, where there is no flap. So then I'm going to take just one piece, and I'm going to put it at half an inch, which is this. So when I put my piece in here, I'll make sure that the part with the flap goes towards 1 inch, and the part that has no flap goes towards half an inch. It's a little bit slippery. Once again, the part with the flap, the one with the score line, goes towards 1 inch, and the end of it, there's no flap, goes towards half an inch. To be nice if this would not move. Okay, and we are going to do the same on all of our pieces. And we are done with this tool. Now I'm going to take my paper trimmer, and I'm going to trim out the pieces inside here. Okay, keep these pieces in case you can use for photo mats or for something else later. Like I said, I don't throw anything away until I'm finished with the project. Trying to make sure it sits straight to that 1-inch mark. You take your scissors, and on the back where we mark those 1 inch with our pencils, we have to cut from one mark sign to the other, but make sure that your scissor cuts exactly through this intersection of the score lines. So I'm placing my scissors and cutting all the way like that. Okay. Same on the other side. So basically we cut off like this, these corners. Okay. Let's do the same with all our pieces. I'm gonna put the small frames on the side, and we are going to work on the bigger frame. So now, of course, bend your pieces on your score lines. And make sure that when you close these pieces here, you don't feel any bumps, because if you feel bumps, that means that they're overlapping. It cannot overlap. If it's nice and smooth, like the two sides meet perfectly, and it feels like they meet fine on my side. Gonna burnish it now. Now bring in the two longer pieces that we put on the side before, as well as the transparency, the big one. The transparency that measures 10 and 1/8 by 4 3/4. We are going to apply the transparency first, and I am going to use 1/8 of an inch tape. Oh, seriously? I just opened up this. Okay. I'm going to apply 1/8 of an inch tape very close to this side, to the inside uh, frame on this piece. Okay, like this, it ensures that tape is not going to be visible on the right side. So all the way around the frame. burnish it down. Remove the tape cover. And now apply your transparency. As you can see, I'm doing this very, very slowly. I'm taking my time. So this is what we have so far. We applied our transparency. Okay, let's put this on the side for the time being and take the piece that measures 10.5 by 5.25. Take your ruler and mark 1/2 inch from the end of your piece on the 10.5 inch side, and we are going to do that on both sides. 1/2 inch. Actually, we are going to do this on all 4 sides. And 1/2 inch. So we marked 1/2 inch all the way around, and now we are going to cut on the long lines, okay? But we are going only to cut from where the 2 lines intersect to where the 2 lines intersect. So from one intersection to another on the 10.5 inch side only. So both this one and this one. That's on one side. Now we have to do the other side as well. Okay, so this is what you are going to have. So as you can see, our cuts end exactly where the lines intersect. Now let's take the other piece that measures 10 1/8 by 5 1/8. Take your ruler, and I would like you to measure this time only 3/8 of an inch. So this mark is going to be at 3/8 of an inch from, and we are only on, so it's going to be on the 10 1/8 inch side. Make a line 3/8 of an inch from the end of the cardstock. Just wish things didn't move. Okay, 3/8 of an inch. And then mark on the 10 and 1 inch side mark the half, and the half would be 5 and 1/16, and that 1/16 is between 5, it's exactly the middle between 5 and 1/8. So it doesn't have to be perfect, you can just eyeball it. So I'm marking here. Okay, so what we did, we drew a line on the 10 and 1/8 inch side from the end of the cardstock 3/8 of an inch in. Okay, and then I marked the middle of this piece, and if this piece measured 10 inch and 1/8, the middle of it would be 5 inches and 1/16. And the 1/16, it's exactly, see how you have 5 inches and 5 and 1/8, so the 1/16 will be somewhere here in the middle. Then I'm going to draw a straight line exactly where is the marked at the half. Okay, we did this, and we are going to only cut this line down. Okay, so exactly from where it starts to where it ends. So now all the way up, we will need this 3/8 of an inch flap, or however you want to call it, to stay there intact. And this is the moment of truth, because this was the piece that I did wrong when I created the other page. Let's see. We may need to crop a little bit more from this one. I'm not sure yet. I think we are good. So now take your piece and feed it through these channels that we did, and this, like that. And push it as down as you can. Okay. So see on the other side, this is where is the cut line, and this is where is the piece. It's actually the same, almost the same length as this one. Okay, so now if we need to slide, it should work, right? But I think I put it up because this will sit like this. So then I need to put this one in front, so you see the sliding action. Oh no, wait. It's very easy to get confusing. You always have to keep in mind the direction in which you are going to slide. So I need to slide towards the right, so then the left piece sits on the outside and the right piece goes in the back. No, I'm sorry, the other way around. So the left piece stays on the outside and what's wrong with me? The left piece goes on the inside, okay, in the back, and the right piece stays on the outside, and this is your sliding mechanism right here. So at this point I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to erase all these lines. I'm trying to do it slowly because the camera is settled on the desk, and when I use the eraser it's going to shake a little. Okay, we are now going to put this, like to finalize this until actually we need to mat it now, because once it's inside here and you put a pocket on your page, of course you cannot mat it, you cannot put the pictures on. So this is the time to do so. There it goes. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to go offline to mat it, and when I come back I'm going to show you how, and also prepare, because I will need to resize the pictures. Of course I have pictures 4 by 6, but they will need to be resized to fit this. And when I come back I'm going to give you the measurements for matting as well as the pictures, so you can see, uh, instead of doing this with you guys and bore you with me cutting and resizing. Once it's all done, I'll come back and give you the measurements of the pictures as well as the matching. So see you guys in a bit.